and then I can let people in if more people come.
Cool. Well, warm welcome to both of you. It's lovely to have you. Well done for finding us in our new home. David and I just really wanted to keep the momentum going with the archetypes work that we've been doing, because we've been so enjoying it with everybody. So we're going to keep going, certainly for a while. We might take a bit of a break in September for my wedding, and then we'll be probably rolling on. We'll see. But welcome. Let's take a moment to settle in together and to come to our bodies, come into our bodies. And Greta's just joined us, so let's give her a moment to join in before we center. Good morning, Greta. Warm welcome. We're beginning with a bit of centering to come in. Well done for finding us. So let's, if you'd like to join me, taking a moment to come to center, remembering that centering generally is an eyes open practice, so that you get used to being able to do it in any situation. So take a moment to feel your bottom on the seat or your feet on the floor, whether you're standing or sitting. Notice a bit more about how your bottom feels and your feet feel. Then notice a bit more about how your body feels this morning. Little check in. Notice any tightness or levels of tiredness. Maybe notice your emotional state. And notice your breath. And then take a moment to consciously relax through your core. So imagine that you can soften around and between your eyes, and if your eyes are open, engage your peripheral vision a little bit. So open your gaze to the sides so that you could see your fingers if they were out here. And relax your jaw, your tongue, your lips. And relax your shoulders and your neck. All the way down your torso, to your bottom, your pelvis. Naturally letting that go out to your arms and legs. Welcome Anuba, we're centering to begin with. And imagine that you can soften down your belly, down your front, your belly, and then take a breath when you're ready. And let it go. Always worth remembering that you can take the breath in different ways for a different reaction. So if you want to center up, your energy up a bit, you can make the in-breath a bit stronger. And if you want to relax your nervous system, then make your out-breath long and slow. And from there, take a little notice as well. How do you feel now? What's changed, if anything? If you'd like to, let us know in the chat. What does centering do for you this morning? It certainly made me a bit more aware and present. I went for a bit of up-centering. If it's easier just to unmute and share then please do. More engaged. Yeah, like me, David. It's amazing, isn't it? You think you are. You think you are, and then you center and you think, oh, now I am. Yeah, it's beautiful. So while any responses to that question are coming in, much needed shaking off the day's activities and be here fully. Of course, Anuba, different time frame. You're well into your day. And Noticed imbalance in feet, sadness, more balance now. Beautiful, Rosa. Yeah. So a reminder, our values stay the same. We've changed venue, and that's pretty much all we've changed, really. We're keeping the structure as it is, and we continue to welcome your full participation and your full self-responsibility in these sessions, that you are the boss of your body. And so whatever we suggest is that if you know that in your body that's not going to work for you, either physically or emotionally, then feel free to either tone it down or sit something out. And that'll be completely welcome. And our value of integrity and of holding this space as confidential as well. So please share what we do, but don't share anything you hear. And what you do here, again, we work with the principle that we don't give advice to people. We're here as witnesses to listen to people's reflections and awareness of themselves, and less advice is invited. So today we're going to have a little look at lover. We're going to step into the world of the lover. From Greta, we have makes me aware of some body aches. Breathing is easier. I noticed how I blocked it before. Oh, that's really good awareness. Annabelle, do you know, when I center, quite often I'm suddenly aware that that's the first conscious breath I've taken all day. And I do that with my clients now, because I use centering as the beginning, and I say, notice, is this the first aware breath you've taken today so far? Because it's such a simple thing to do, and it's such a relaxing and opening thing to do, I find. So, and you notice more about what's going on. So we're looking at lover, bit of lover engagement and exploration today. We were talking about, David and I, about the yin and the yang aspects of different archetypes. And to explain that a little bit for anybody who's not familiar with yin and yang, yin is the receptive, the move back, to receive, to be open to let life, interactions, inspiration, anything come to you. A yin for me creatively is often the bit in the unknown, where there's nothing to do but just a receiving of what's obvious, of what's out there, an ability to be in that space of very open engagement. And yang is the directive, forward moving energy of life, action taking. Sometimes it's called masculine and feminine. I think on the whole, I prefer yin and yang, although I also, as a woman who, for most of my working life, had a very masculine embodiment and approach to working, when I just rediscovered my yin capacities, oh my goodness, it helped. So, you know, for me personally, there's something in it being the yin qualities being very, very feminine, and appreciating them for that. Welcome your thoughts on any point in this. So we're going to look at lover through how we relate, and with a bit of that moving to and moving away, and how our perception can change from the yin aspect to the yang aspect. And we're going to do it using our hand as the relating object. So David and I, between us, are going to share the body movement time of this. But yeah, I mean, I think we've got a little bit of time. So I'm just interested if anybody has any kind of sense of that yin and yang relationship yourself, or any awareness of it in life, or anything you can bring to that yourselves. If you'd like to unmute. Yeah, Anuba.
Yeah, I think same as yours. Like during the working life in a corporate office, it just felt that I didn't realize I was suppressing my inner yin so much, that I had more masculine, directive, authoritative way of being, and very, very low capacity for emotions. And moving out of that space yes, I think becoming more comfortable with the feminine and more yin receptive aspect of myself initially was difficult, but once you start engaging with it, it becomes so much more enriching.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, lovely, Anuba. Thanks for sharing. That's great. Okay, let's go into an exploration of it in our bodies and see what pops up in new awareness and new opportunities, new choice in that. So, so if you'd like to join me standing, you can easily do this sitting if you want to, but personally, I'd like to get a little bit of movement in my body. I'll have to come over here where I'm in shadow. Okay, so we imagine the hand is our hand is the object of our relating. So if you hold your hand out there and you think of it as something you are going to relate to, and in a way this is absolutely true because you have a relationship with yourself as well as with other people. And if we begin with a feeling of coming to and moving away from the hand. So here it is in an object. It might be interesting to first note how close or far you've put it in the initial. You might just have copied me, and so that you've got the similar to me. But notice if it's maybe if you've brought it up very close as a first stop, or if it's way away from you as a first stop. And when you want to have a look at kind of going to it, how does it feel to move into this object that you're relating with? And get up close and personal and come to move, be the one who engages, who moves forward. And then how does it feel to be up close? Up close and personal. What does that bring up in you? And when you've had a moment with that, move away again. And with this as that feeling of creating space, of, I don't know, maybe you're inviting a following, or you're inviting the object of your connection in. You might just be moving away, thankfully. So notice in your body what feels most comfortable and familiar to you, and then play with it a little bit a few times, moving in, coming to, moving away. And can you increase your familiarity with the one that was less familiar? Your comfort with, if you find moving up close a little bit uncomfortable, moving into intimacy and connection, if you find that a little bit uncomfortable, or if you find them moving towards uncomfortable, through practice, can you make it a bit more comfortable? And then I'm going to hand over to David for the next exploration. If you want to swap hands anytime.
So maintaining that sense of curiosity around distance, maybe to swap hands. And briefly playing with that distance, and seeing, does it feel different? As you move in, or maybe moving your hand in. and noticing the quality of your relationship with it, with your hand as it gets closer or further away. Maybe the palm side or the other side. And that maybe to use your other hand to touch the hand. To touch it tenderly as an intimate part of yourself, as an intimate part of your relating. To yourself, to the world, to other people. The shapes it makes when it moves in relation to your other hand. And then, is there some way in which you can stop relating? Is there some way in which you can objectify your hand? To touch it as an object? Maybe change the way you touch it. Or position it differently so that it feels less a part of you and something separate from you. How does the way you touch change? How does the way you see it change? Maybe swap your hand over. And notice how your relating changes then. Then I'll hand back over to Thea.
Okay. Just a little side point. I realized my hand was out here, so also play with it right in front of you. Little moment of putting your hand here. And again, moving to it, moving away from it, and letting it move to you and move away from you. It's another option to play with at some point. But now to move on in a kind of changing your gaze, relating to how you look. You have your hand in front of you. I mean, hold it so it's comfortable. I know that without, I can't do that for too long because I've just been getting over a tight shoulder. So keep it so that it's not straining anything. But if you're looking directly at it, how are you looking at your hand? Notice how you're looking at it, how you're seeing it. And notice, is your gaze naturally narrow and straight at it? And if that's the case, what happens if you open up your peripheral vision? So imagine that you can see your fingers if they're out here, either side. Does that change anything in the way you see and the way you look at and the way you perceive your hand? And again, you can play with bringing your gaze in, narrow focus, open focus. And what quality can you bring to your gaze? So can you bring a fierce kind of quality to a direct looking? maybe narrowing your gaze a bit, real focus. And then try a softening, or imagine that you're softening your gaze, like you're looking at a loved one. Looking at a child you love, or a parent you love. And what changes in you as you change your gaze? And what's your tendency? Again, is it to see it as object, or is it to see it as with that softer gaze? And then back to David to explore this beyond the eyes to the heart.
So now, whichever hand you choose, or maybe both hands, to relate to your hands through the heart. And maybe just closing the heart space a little bit, only as much as you feel okay to do. Closing the heart space a little, noticing how you're relating shifts. And then opening your heart space. So by relaxing the chest, maybe opening the chest and the shoulders, just noticing how you relate differently to your hands when your heart is open and when your heart is more closed. What do you notice happening in you? Does the quality of the movement change? Does the quality of the relating change? Then I invite you to open your heart as much as you can. Maybe to bring the hands together. Just to spend a few moments in more intimacy, in more contact. With your heart open, with your hands tender. With your relating more intimate. So that we feel a sense of connection as we end the exercise and come back to the screen in our own time. Hand back to feet.
Beautiful. Thank you, David. So if you'd like to share your experience, anything you noticed, any new awareness of your lover potential and your lover patterns, and what you can embody more differently maybe with your lover, I'd love to hear them. If anybody would like to unmute, we have a couple of minutes, or if you'd like to share in the chat, that's welcome too.
I can share.
Yes, of course, Anupa. Thank you.
I felt it was there's a lot of tightness in my chest when the hand was far away. And when it was closer, it was easier to be softer. So it was interesting, and also how to play with the like the hand sideways of front, lower, higher. There was a different quality of presence, and I did notice myself leaning back a little bit in different times. Also, it was, I mean, I might want to do it a bit more to kind of come to a more informed state of a pattern or something that it reveals. But I think it's very interesting that when you said, like, what do you do when you soften yourself, it was interesting to kind of just see how the whole body was more open, softer, and gentle in the whole space. So that was a nice quality to remind yourself to bring in relationships.
Beautiful, Nuba.
Thank you.
I know that with my betrothed, if we're not getting on, the minute I soften here, everything changes. I mean, everything changes. And I see it, because if we're not getting on, then it's all been done to me. Yeah, hey, it's all him. When I take the responsibility in my body and shift my embodiment, oh my goodness, it's like, oh, okay, so that was me. My bad. It's beautiful, and it's in my power to change that. Is what I love about it. We've got a note from David. I'm noticing a pattern of objectifying my hands. It's a little disturbing, actually, that I realize that now after all these years of embodiment. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, David. Anybody else? Very quickly, Annabelle, did you want to share? We have to come to a close. Yeah, please do, very quickly.
Yeah, I realized in the beginning how comfortable I was with distance, and a little bit with the opposite than Anuba. I felt much more comfortable with the distance. But then when we are starting to look for the distances, I felt that I need some. My body asked me to move. Like really, I couldn't like stand during the whole exercise, and I felt like I was looking for a middle distance, because too close, I felt like my breathing was blocked, and I felt even anxiety. And I was okay, good. Let's see how it is in the middle, like not too far and not too close. And even this middle was like a dance. I felt like I was like moving like all the time, like sense of not staying blocked in one distance, just like this part was very
beautiful, Annabelle. Thanks for sharing. Lovely to keep playing with that, keep exploring it. Thank you for joining us, everybody. That brings us to the end of our time together. It's really lovely to see you again. We're going to be here every Friday through August. So yeah, please bring people, bring them along. Anybody you can think of who would benefit from this, please bring them to the session. We'd love to see more people. But you guys are great too. It's quite nice having intimate groups. So if you'd like to unmute and say goodbye, then please do so. Thank you, Greta. Lovely to see you. So glad you could join us. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tia. Thank you, David.
Bye, everyone.
Pleasure.
Thank
See you
you.
all.
Thank you, Rosa.
Bye.